Okay, game two between Demiax and Sam, this time on Acid Plant, quite a big map. Um, the first game, a little disappointing. It was essentially a demonstration of what happens if somebody has never played StarCraft before in their life and decides to, as their first StarCraft experience, try and play against somebody. Um, this time round, Sam, straight away knows what he's doing. He's building a supply depot. This is a good start. Over on the other side of the map, we see a very similar pattern to the last game. Demiax building the supply depot at the top of the ramp and sending a worker across the map to have a little look around, to do some scouting of her opponent's base. So inside Sam's base, you can see two barracks being built. So this already is a big improvement. Unfortunately, um, no workers in construction here. So Sam is going to find that he's going to run out of money here because he's taking workers out of this mineral line to build these, and he's not putting them back. This worker for Demiax comes in, has a little peek, and Demiax has got to be thinking at this point, whoa, hang on, this isn't like the last game. What's going on? Is there some possibility that Sam actually does know what he's doing and he's luring me into a false sense of security in the first game? Perhaps that's what she's thinking. Who knows? Okay. So the barracks here with a bit of a queue of marines. Do bear in mind, folks, 3 marines is the same price as a barracks. You build 1 marine, drop another barracks, but by the time the first marine is built, you've definitely got enough money to start the second marine. So you don't lose any time building marines by doing that, and then by the time your third marine comes out of this barracks, the second barracks is finished up, and you're then building them 2 at a time, and you're just in better shape all around. Orbital command, just finishing up, so we'll see what that gets used for, whether it'll drop a mule. It does. Bear in mind, these mules, they live for a finite amount of time. You can see the timer just going down here. 64 seconds they live for, and for those 64 seconds they mine faster than an SCV. So if we watch the mineral tab, if we were to do that, we would see a significant spike in mineral income when you drop a mule. You can see the Terran's income actually increase when a mule is dropped. Over in Sam's base, a reasonable number of idle SCVs here, and that is something you want to avoid. It's easily done. It's easy to accidentally leave your workers about the place. From Sam's vision, though, if I look on the left of the screen, here, this little tab here shows you at any given time if you have any idle workers and how many. Tapping F1 will select one of those idle workers. Tapping Control F1 will select all of those idle workers. So even if you're not sure where they are, if you see a number of idle workers here, you can just do sort of Control and either F1 or click the button, and then just right click a mineral patch, and those workers are all back to doing what they should be doing, which is getting you that money so that you can turn it into a kick-ass army and go and wreck face. So back over in Demiax's base, the scan goes down, and she will see that there are indeed units this time, and actually a reasonable number. Let's look at the army supply tab. Sam actually with the army advantage at this point in time. So upgrades coming down for Demiax, and those could prove to be useful, because if equal numbers obviously meet in the middle of the map for a fight, then the Marines with upgrades will be the winners. Disappointingly, though, production tab has now zeroed out for Sam. Let's see what the APM's doing. Not much. I'll be honest, I watched Sam play these games, and he did spend a significant amount of time with only one hand actually playing the game. This was all done by mouse. And a top tip is to get used to the sort of hotkeys and stuff. Get used to the buttons, because you're definitely much more efficient if you're using the hotkeys. So Sam moving out here with these units and bringing SCVs for reasons best known to himself. Demiax now has increased the marine count substantially, and I suspect overtaken Sam. So a good number of marines with stim. We'll see whether or not that gets used. Stim is a risky thing to use before you've got Medivacs. It's a great upgrade, but it does damage your... Oh dear. Oh no. So those first SCVs did not do so well, and I just don't believe these Marines are going to fare too well either. So let's have a quick look at the units lost tab. It's ugly. Yeah. Those got dead pretty quickly. These guys coming across the map on their own one at a time are not going to fare any better. Back at home, siege tanks in production, combat shield is being researched. The engineering bay is ready for any sort of upgrades you want to throw at that in due course. Still marines being produced in sort of this base. Sam is not producing anything, nothing at all. I don't know what he's doing. The APM is 0. The production tab says 0. He's essentially asleep at the wheel here, and so these marines will simply walk in uncontested and just win this game. So that will be the GG. They're just a token stim for no good reason. I'm going to stim to make sure I kill this command center super quick. Yeah, and why not? You know, there's nothing here to shoot you, so it doesn't really matter. But quite useful for me because it does show you the effect that the stim has on these marines. You can see that it does do 10 damage to these marines, so it does hurt them to hit the stim button. When you press it, you can see the description on the right there. Injects the unit with powerful stimulants that greatly increase attack and movement speed for a few seconds. Injures the unit for 10 of the unit's life. So stim is great. You tap it just before you move into action. It means your marines move faster and they shoot faster. So the damage output from them is substantially increased, and that 10 damage that they take is well worth it for the benefit you get in terms of how much damage you do. But if you are using stim marines, it's kind of pretty critical that you have some way of fixing the damage that stim does. So your best bet is to build Medivacs to go with these, so that they're healing up after you stim them. Okay, so a pretty comfortable 2-0 for Demiax. Sam, I don't know, he's going to need to get a little bit of practice before his next round 1 matchup if he is to stand much of a chance of seeing the next round. So we'll see what happens. Either way, GG.